Welcome to another episode of Dropping Knowledge. Today we are joined by Catherine Castle, someone who I've met in the last year or so, and became a little interested in her story because I think she fits some of the things that we want to talk about. And so I'm not going to give any of the background. I'm just going to kind of jump in.
Okay.
So welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy New Year, by the way.
Yeah. Same to y'all.
Yeah.
So this is our first of 2026.
Okay.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Probably should have my notes.
So really quick, do you do New Year's resolution goals? Anything like that?
I feel like the gym is my goal that I've had for 10 years that
Awesome.
I've continued on with that I thoroughly enjoy. So no new ones.
Good deal.
When you say thoroughly enjoy the gym, can we dig into that a little bit?
Sure.
Like, do you enjoy all aspects of it? Like waking up and making yourself go? Are you fired up to get to the gym?
I look forward to going now because I can see results. I'm just getting so much stronger. As before in the beginning, you don't want to go, you're sweating your butt off,
Right.
but I think once you start seeing results, you want to go.
That's
So,
kind of the stage I'm in. Like I woke up today at 5 and I was like, I'm going to go to the gym. And then I'm like, maybe I'll just walk this afternoon. And I keep talking myself out of it.
get up and go.
Well,
That's
the
what I
first
need to
part
do.
is you
If
wake
you
up at
can do
5.
it with your schedule, that's what I do. I get up and I go. Because if I don't do it in the morning,
Yeah.
my day just takes me everywhere every which way. And so I get it
So
done.
just
So I
do
went
it.
this morning.
Get up.
Yeah.
Go.
I've also learned I have to work out in the morning
Oh, yeah.
for
Absolutely.
the same reasons. I've been like that my whole life.
Yes.
And if I try to do it too early in the morning, it doesn't work for me either.
Okay.
So what's your sweet
I don't know,
time?
10 a.m. No, I'm just kidding. No,
Oh,
my-
to be you.
No, my sweet spot, that's actually would be a little late for me. I would say it's between 7:30 and 8.
That's not bad.
No,
That's not bad.
it's good.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's on average. Let's
Yeah.
say some days I might
Yeah.
go a little later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some days a little earlier.
Yeah.
And so what kind of weight training do you do?
I try to do legs one day, upper body the next day, and then the third day being cardio and core.
So you do 3 days a week. Good deal.
Yes.
Okay.
If I can make it a fourth day to do extra cardio, that's like awesome, but
Awesome.
doesn't happen very often.
Okay. Well, good deal. You 10 years in. That's
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't realize it had been that
amazing.
long. We've been going to, my mom and I started going to Tony, and it's been great for both of us.
so you work out with a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, you have to introduce me to your mom
Oh, yeah.
because I don't know who she
Oh,
is.
yeah. She's in there. Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to get my dad to go, but hasn't really worked out. He
It's-
committed, then I called him to go, and he was like, well, maybe tomorrow.
Maybe more.
That was like 3
It's great. My mom, I mean, she's 73. She does it a few days
That's
a week.
amazing.
And yeah.
And that's so good for them too.
Yes.
You know, as they get older to work out.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Okay. So you told us a little bit about working out, which is amazing. I think we could have a whole podcast about that. But tell us a little bit about yourself, upbringing, education.
I was born in New Orleans. I primarily grew up in Covington, went to a all-girls private school, SSA, then went on to LSU to graduate in business management. I thought I wanted to go get my master's, and then come my last semester, I said, I can't study anymore. So
I don't know.
I went into business management. Our family actually just sold a grocery store, Langenstein's, which was 1922. So we just celebrated 100 years in business.
Wow.
And-
Okay, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So my goal to go into business management was to hopefully open a location on the North Shore. So I graduated LSU, moved to Uptown and lived there, and went between the Uptown and the Metairie store working. I'm very good at making finger sandwiches and cutting deli meat. Anyway, long story short, Katrina hit. My whole family who lived in the city, we ended up commuting across because everything was, the stores did not have generators at the time. So we had to, by the time we got back in, the food was gone. It was one of the most disgusting
no.
experiences of my life. But what do? Your family owns it. You've got to clean it up. So we did it. We reopened. So we still commuted. And then 6 months after Katrina, I asked my uncles, I said, do you think it's feasible for us to get a store on the North Shore? And they said, not now, but maybe 5 to 10 years. And I just said, I'm not comfortable living in the city that long. Like I don't,
Right.
my whole my family, my friends, my horses, everything was over here. So I just said, thank you for the experience. I'm going to move on. So then what do you do? Right. So my mom was doing real estate at the time. She had probably done it for about 15 years. And she's like, maybe that timing is wrong. I'm not sure. But anyway, so she said, I'm kind of over it. But if we back up a little bit, my mom did open Bridles and Breeches, which is the store that I run now. She opened that in 2005. The reason why we can go back
Katrina or pre-Katrina?
She opened it right before Katrina.
Oh, wow.
It's where the donut stop is where our original building was. But she opened that because we had lost my sister, her daughter. So she did that as something for her mind to move forward, to keep herself busy, to get herself past that. So that was like her little baby, the tack shop. So then when I left the grocery, I decided to start real estate since she was focusing her time on the tack shop. So I basically took over her clientele, or if there was anybody that, she needed help, I would help them. And here I am now still doing real estate 20 years later. But so let's see, I probably took over the shop 13 or 14 years ago. I really don't know. Mom still pitched in and helped out for, quite some time, but she is fully retired now. So yeah, now I just do the shop and real estate. It's nice because both of them are flexible. I am in the shop, but technically, more so like before hours, before we open, I'll go do managerial stuff, payroll, that sort of thing. So yeah.
So forgive my ignorance, but what type of shop is this?
Bridles and Breeches. It's a tack shop. So anything horse gear. So English riding, there's Western and English riding.
Okay.
We're English riding. So what you would say equestrians, I guess. So there's dressage, there's 3-day eventing, which is, like they jump out in the woods, and then there's stadium or like in the arena. Hunter jumper. So there's a lot of different disciplines that we cover or that the attire can be useful for.
Got it. Okay.
So, and horse stuff as well, bridles, saddles, grooming stuff,
Wow. That's pretty cool. I didn't know
Yeah.
So you have like the Western side, they dress like cowboys and cowgirls.
that. Okay.
And then you have the
English side with
English
the tall
side where
black
they dress
boots,
Like,
all
and the
fancy,
crops,
Yes, I would do it just for the
I
fashion.
knew
Yeah.
you
Yes.
They always, it's always, they
there are
always
some
look so
people who are
cute.
very fashion, who they want to be dressed to the nines,
I love watching when they dress up with the pretty boots, the fitted boots and the pants and the
I tell Haley
jackets.
she looks like the lawn jockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like we rode the never like, hey, look at you when you do your English stuff. So, man, you said a lot of things had my brain firing on that intro there in your background.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about the Katrina experience
Yeah, sure.
as it relates to, a couple of things? One, obviously being in a family business, like you said, got to show up and help.
Absolutely.
And then two, the fact that it's a grocery business, which is something that's so vital to.
We had to
so
reopen
many
as
people.
soon as possible.
Right.
So when you think back to that time, what's maybe some of the, what do you think the most valuable things you took from that experience were from a business perspective?
I think the biggest thing is just watching my uncles and my family. We all, hunker down and we got it done. We didn't have a choice, right? So one, you don't have to supply the city, but you're supplying food. These people need water, they need food, and we're the ones who are one of the ones giving it to them. So we had to do it. And they're probably my two uncles and my grandfather are probably some of the driving force in, small business ownership and, looking and saying, hey, times are tough, but we got to buckle up and get it done. You didn't have a choice. I mean, just to give you a little example, the turkeys that were in the freezer that had defrosted and were there for 2 weeks were this big. And there was flies that were like this big, I mean, it was just disgusting, but who else was going to do
Right.
it? You know?
Right.
So
And you were in college at the time.
I had just graduated college
So
in
early
04.
20s.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Goodness, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
So yeah,
That's so
just
crazy.
seeing, you lead by example, right?
And some of your friends were in, Destin,
Yeah.
Disney World, and dealing
Yeah.
with a lot of people
Right.
we all knew were fortunate enough to be able to do.
Yes.
And then there were those who were fighting the fight at a
Mm-hmm.
level that
We were
It's
fighting the
life-changing.
fight. Yeah. It was gross. I mean, a lot of us didn't have power still over here,
Mhm.
so, I mean, my uncle luckily had a pool at his place. So he was in the pool, his farm over here. So he was jumping in the pool, bathing and washing his clothes, and we'd get up and cross the causeway. We'd all load up in his Suburban and go. Yeah.
Wow.
And how long did it take you all do you remember, to get the store?
I think it took us a couple weeks because you got to get dumpsters. How are you going to get dumpsters?
So many challenges.
Yeah. Better have a pair of knee boots. You better have respirators. You got to,
Right. And it's all so easy to find when the city shut down.
correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The logistical nightmares are, they're life changing.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's funny because for the people who haven't lived through those things,
Mhm.
it's very difficult to comprehend what it's really like. It's like the line, till you've walked in someone's shoes, you don't know.
Correct.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
or why we all want to touch the pan when someone says, "Don't touch this, it's very hot." I did it the other night at a restaurant. The guy goes, "This is really hot." And it's not that I didn't believe him, but I needed to touch it. So I burned myself. So it's kind of that kind of psychology
Yes.
that we all struggle with. But it's very interesting that as I find it, because I have my own experiences through Katrina, and I always find it interesting to hear what people take away from it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to find solutions to things because it's not pretty. And
Yeah.
there's what I call crisis inside of a crisis, inside of a crisis, inside of a crisis. And you're like, dear Lord,
It was nasty. It was bad.
but y'all made it.
We made it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so
So-
I thought that was interesting.
That is very interesting. So, of all the jobs you've done, which one have you enjoyed the most?
Probably the shop is my go-to. I just like my favorite part of, and I think real estate and the shop goes hand in hand, is your end result, whether the transaction is a house or whether the transaction is somebody buying a new outfit for their daughter that's just starting to ride, right? You want them to be happy with their transaction.
Right.
And I guess I get happiness out of seeing other people happy. So, it can be a large transaction or a small transaction. And if they leave satisfied that in their customer service was good, then they'll come back and do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you talk about customer service, because I feel like that is a dying art,
Yes.
because I would imagine, I think customer service as an art.
It's a big
science
art.
in my mind, right?
It's a huge art.
It's sort of like management. I read something one time where this person said, if anyone ever tells you they've figured out managing people,
No,
be the first sign, don't work with them because
Yeah.
they're
it's always changing. You
because it's
can't.
always changing. So customer service, I feel, is a dying art
Yes.
in so many ways, probably for so many reasons,
Right.
right? So when you think about customer service, let's start in the real estate box first. What do you feel? What do you think is important to deliver?
Responsiveness is your biggest key. Somebody has a question. You may not know the answer. You just say, "Hey, let me find out. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to get back to you." Taking you a little while to find out that answer. "Hey, I'm still working on it. I haven't forgot about you."
Great.
Right? So that's my biggest recommendation to anybody in any industry that you're working with people. Communication, even if it's not the greatest thing to communicate, you're still communicating it and updating them on, "Hey, I did order that helmet for you, but it just has not come in yet.
Right.
It's coming from Europe or got stuck on a boat," whatever the case may be. But they appreciate the communication, so that would be as far as customer service, in any industry. For me, real estate and the shop.
And when you have to deliver, let's talk about the real estate side a little bit. When you have to deliver not so good news,
It sucks.
Yeah. Any tips? What do you think about?
Don't hold off. I mean, you've got, it's there. It has to be disclosed, right? You can't, if you can't fix it, then you have to tell them. And unfortunately it is what it is. But I mean, I would recommend not holding off, or not delaying giving them that bad news, whether, maybe it's something with the loan process, or maybe the house didn't appraise, or maybe the seller didn't clean out their attic like they were supposed to, or, whatever it could be. Some better than, others.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's more than one.
Yes. Correct.
How often do people not clean out the attic? I'm just curious. Asking for a friend.
Quite a bit.
Right.
Yeah. That's the first thing I tell people when I go to a listing appointment, which I have one at 1:00 today, I say, hey, start cleaning out your attic. Because it's not right to leave your crap in there.
Do you think they do it intentionally? Or do you think some people just forget they have?
I think they wait till the last second and then they say, I don't have time and I don't want it. I don't know what's up there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, I had one closing that they would not close until the attic was cleaned out.
That would be me. I'd be like, I am not.
There was
cleaning out
so
your
much
attic.
stuff in the attic that, yes, the buyers would not close.
Well, and then
Wow.
if you get like out in the country, as they say from the city, you have sheds.
Mm-hmm.
And you might have things
goodness.
that house horses called barns,
Mhm.
which have loft areas. Maybe you're sensing some frustration. And maybe you beg and plead that it has to be cleared.
Wow, that's happened to you?
Maybe.
Wow.
And
I was not expecting that was an issue in real estate. but-
Yes, it's a big issue.
Oh,
well,
really?
it
That's
compounds
crazy.
because the attic is one thing.
Right.
But if you think about it, if you've got an attic and then you've got a shed and then you got a barn and then you might have another little building.
But then you look at it for the buyer's perspective. Then they have to get a dumpster, maybe
Right.
a couple times. Then they have to do
deal
all
with
of the
it.
work,
Right.
So
That's not fair.
no,
It's not fair.
It's not.
So, in other words, advice to everyone listening: keep your attic empty.
Yes, don't put it up
If you don't
there.
know what's up there, throw it out.
Correct.
Throw it out.
I try not to put anything in my attic.
Yeah.
We've definitely trimmed down with about, it feels like 5 moves in 3 or 4 years, but we still have things in the attic.
Yeah.
And we have things we think are in the attic, such as yesterday,
That are.
where we couldn't find our stockings for Christmas. We
Yeah,
had to
because you
put away-
probably left it at the previous house you
No,
sold.
no,
You're
no,
one
mine is
of
empty.
the.
He left it in the attic.
You're guilty.
No, mine's empty. And then Mardi Gras decorations,
Oh.
only to dig through the attic to realize that they're actually in a closet. So
I know. I'm guilty of keeping stuff in my attic, and it's mostly kids' clothes. Like,
Yeah.
I just have a hard time
Letting
because I
go of
remember
it.
when they wore it, and now I'm like, I just got to get rid of it. You have the picture, let it go. Let someone else enjoy
Well, I
it.
told somebody the other day, an old employee who stopped in with her little girl, and she looked about the age where she would start losing her teeth, And I said, "Hey, I'm just going to let you know. I don't know why people think it's like you save your baby's teeth, but it's really gross. you later find." How many? 15, 20 teeth, however many they lose. And you're like, what am I doing with this? Like, what
It's a thing. I mean, I don't intentionally save my child's teeth, but the tooth fairy comes and then
what do you do?
I put it somewhere and then I forget where I put it. And I'm like, he's going to find his teeth and be like, wow.
Oh yeah. I would
thought
clean
the
out
tooth
all the
fairy-
coffee mugs. My husband would put them in a plastic bag and like put it in a coffee mug up top.
Yeah.
And so I'm cleaning out the cabinet and I literally find like all these plastic baggies of teeth.
Yeah.
Like,
Just get
so
rid of
gross.
them. Right. It's in
Yeah.
a picture, get rid of it.
Yeah.
You don't
Well,
have to
Haley
keep
says
teeth.
I'm a borderline hoarder for attic things. But I have boxes of stuff that I didn't intentionally do it. I just threw it in boxes over the years.
Mhm.
And then I have stuff. So then when I go to clear it out, I'm like, man, I feel like this is like part of my life.
I got to keep it going
So,
to the
like, I
next
have,
gotta
house.
let it go. You gotta
The first cigar I ever smoked, I
Oh,
still have the
stop it.
butt in a baggie.
That's as bad as holding on to teeth.
Yeah.
Wow,
I have
Christopher.
What else? My buddy was getting married about 20 years ago, I guess.
Uh-huh.
We've been friends since literally kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started digging through. I had gone through some boxes recently. And I found all this stuff. So I had like I don't know why, but we had we had first communion cards,
Oh,
Valentine
okay.
cards from when you're in kindergarten, first grade. So I had
Yeah.
all this stuff, and
Yeah.
I still have most of that.
I mean, I can see why you keep stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you're just leaving it for your children to deal with. That's how I feel now.
Yeah.
Like, when my parents pass away, like knowing that I have to deal with all that, I'm like, just get rid of it. And so that's kind of what I'm applying to myself. I don't want my kids to have to deal with this.
Yeah.
Just let go of it.
Yeah. Because I try to take the kids in my office and go, you see this wall of stuff here? This is like my life. You want to talk about it? And they're like, not really. I was like, okay, so if they don't want to talk about the stuff that's on the wall, do you think they want to talk about the stuff on the inside?
Your first cigar? No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
No.
let's keep Dad's first cigar butt. This seems like a good idea.
What I might say is bury me with that first cigar. But
There you
since I've kept
go.
it this
There you
long,
go.
right?
Look, it's now recorded, so now they know.
All right, so we got some advice for sellers and buyers.
Mhm.
We got a little customer service. Okay, so let's go to customer service again. So now transitioning to the store.
Okay.
What do you feel like separates good customer service from bad? So I'm not sure you have employees that work there,
Mhm.
and so if you're not there, obviously you've identified customer service as a big ticket item.
Yes.
So like, what are some of the things you do to get yourself comfortable to be able to go do these other things you're doing and not be present
With
in
the
a customer
employees.
service centric business?
I just make sure that it's very clear to my employees, obviously in training and whatnot. And so there's another girl who's starting to, help us a little bit here and there. So I put her with an employee that I know, she's very by the book. She's great customer service. So I put her, hey, work with this girl on these days if possible to learn, and of course, like when I'm I'm like, hey, all right, come work with me today. So you got the gist of how things are handled, and so it's not always making the biggest sale, selling them the most expensive thing. You want the repeat customer, right? You want them to come in. You want them to feel comfortable. You want them to feel happy when they leave,
Mhm.
right? So, hey, we might not have every single thing in the store, but we're going to get it for you. Or if we can't, we just say we can't get it.
Right.
It does happen.
So it's really more about an experience
Yeah.
as opposed to just the meet and greet and being polite.
Yes.
That's one side of it.
Yes.
But the other side, which is really another business issue, which is, well, how do we generate sales?
Yeah.
And,
Gotta keep
and how
the
do we do
lights
it,
on.
How do we do it appropriately?
Yes.
Right? Like, as opposed to being too high pressured.
Right. So you have helmet A, helmet B, and helmet C. Well, they range from $100 to $700. Are you going to try and sell the beginner a $700 helmet? No. Your child's just starting to ride. They're more than likely growing. So let's start with the entry level. So you're not dropping a shit pile of money, right? And if your daughter quits or son quits riding after 5 lessons, you don't have this huge,
Right.
helmet that you're not going to use.
Mhm.
Expensive helmet you're not
Makes
going to use.
sense. I mean,
So they're like, oh, great. Thank you. I appreciate you. Is it just as good as this one? Yes. They're rated the same. It's just a different brand. It's like Academy versus Nike or,
Right.
right.
yeah. So things like that people appreciate.
What do you find the biggest challenge from the ownership seat as it relates to staffing? And do you feel like it's changed over the last 10, 15 years you've been?
So I've had all the same staff, knock on wood. I've never had to fire anybody. They all have had to go to real jobs, quote unquote, right? So I supply them with part-time employment. No more than 2 days a week. If they want, they can. If they need to fill in for somebody, of course, work as much as you want. But a couple of my girls were homeschooled, which I was a little nervous about that, with them talking to
Yeah.
people and being able to communicate. And the change from 1 year to year 2 of their employment was amazing.
Really?
Them being able to speak to people and being able to communicate. I think the store is great for that, but those girls, I guess they're more disciplined in schoolwork, maybe because they can get it done. And then a lot of these girls are, homeschooled and then they go ride. Right.
Okay.
So they're like, let me get my schoolwork done. I want to go ride.
Mhm.
So they, I leave lists or, some are more self-starting than others. Right.
Okay.
And then they'll find something to do. But, so I never advertise that I'm looking for somebody. So the girl who just started working with me, she just had a baby. I've known her for a long time. She's very detail oriented. She knows the equipment. And I don't need her as a full-time employee.
Right.
And it's great for her because when her husband's home off of work, she can come work, get out of the house for her mental health and also make some money and help me. And I know that I can, one, trust her, and two, that she'll do a good job. So I don't know if the term's cherry pick people when I see, because one of my girls is about to graduate nursing school. So I know she's not going to be with me that much longer. So now I need to start bringing in someone else for when she does have to go, then I'll have somebody in that place.
Yeah.
So have you developed kind of like your top 3 to 5 characteristics as you start to look to the community first of what you're kind of looking for?
I don't know if I have the characteristics laid down. I guess reading people and, being middle-aged, you learn how to read people and you can say like, yeah, I could see this person, fitting in here and, doing the customer service and being, a really good employee. And then there's some people who you see and you're just like, I don't get that vibe.
Yep.
So I don't even say anything, I approached, this girl and said, hey, would you like to come, when you have free time? She's like, yeah, that'd be great. So I don't know. I don't never put out a hiring sign.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. It's hard when you have to recruit.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, I mean, just to trust people, with when it's your business. I mean, it's like, that's your family, like that's your little egg. And to have somebody in there, I don't have time to sit there and watch the cameras all day.
No.
They're there, but I don't have time for that,
But I do feel as a smaller business, sometimes it's harder to recruit because what you're looking for is so specific.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to hire a full-time person because maybe your business doesn't allow for that.
Yeah.
So you have to find those people that are like this mom you're talking about, where, that part-time scenario, working 2 or 3 days a week is just what they need.
Yes.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. And to know the business too, she's learning the retail side. She knows the horse side. So she's learning, the computer, the point of sale system, the online orders, and then as going along with that, we have the mobile tack shop where we go to horse shows with it. So
wow. Okay.
Then you've got that part of it. So she's helped me unload the trailer. We'll load it again next week to start horse show season, so it's nice having a extra hand too.
Right.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're also balancing some more mature folks with some less mature.
Yes.
And I mean in business sense, not necessarily in their personality or anything. But and so you start to find at least for me, they bring different things to the table.
Absolutely.
Just like we all did at various points in our career.
Yeah. No, the younger girls, the Instagram, the what's trending, they're like, oh, they did so funny the other day. They sent me a couple of videos of, have you seen the TikToks or Instagram where the girls are out to do social media. So the maintenance man or like I forget what it was, but my husband went in and did like the pictures, like with the just stuff around the shop. And it was hilarious.
Right.
Like, so, like the younger girls, they get that
there's social media marketing aspect.
And so that's where I'm like, you need that younger group, and then the older group or the more mature group, whatever. Everybody gives something to the business. Yeah.
That's really a good point. And that's so true.
Yeah. Cause what I would order, right, is not the same thing as what they would order. And we have to order, say, 6-8 months in advance, some stuff,
wow.
right? Like booking orders.
Mhm.
So I ask them to come and say like, hey, I want your input on what y'all think is going to sell.
Right.
When it's a guessing game every year, but
Right.
you know, I would still like their input,
Right.
you know?
So I identified another important thing I'm hearing you say is, building a team approach to running
yeah.
the business.
Yes.
Also
Yeah.
important.
Very, very. And I mean, and to treat them like a team, I mean, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. So there's some things that need to be done, say on Excel, right? I know this person's better at Excel. They can get it done quicker. So guess what? It goes on their to-do list, right? This person's better at this. Then they get to, pricing updates. Then they get tasked with that. Like the delegation, you go in the direction where it's going to be the easiest for that person, I think, or done the best.
Right. And it takes time and work to identify those strengths and weaknesses in your employees and then kind of play off of it, right? Because if you ignore it, then those are the employees that are like,
yeah, I'm just going to sit here on my phone and, whatever.
Yeah, it was like with Anna for so long. I mean,
yeah, that's what I used to do. I played on Instagram and Facebook
They
all the
didn't have
time.
Facebook back then.
What was the one before Facebook?
Barely, there was just
There
the
probably
internet.
wasn't even internet back
No,
in
the
the
internet
day.
was there, but it was
The
new.
Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, our original, I don't think there was internet, Chris. And if there was, it was like limited to like 1 or 2 computers in the office, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we were big on fax machines back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny. Anything you would do different than, say, maybe 10 years ago in either one of your businesses, either real estate or the shop?
I don't think I've made any poor choices bad enough that I would change. I think even if it's not the greatest choice, it's a learning curve, right? So, going to different shows with the mobile unit, right? So like, how far are you going to go? Do you need to, ask how many people are going to be at the show to make it worth your while? Are there going to be enough shopping people, or are there going to be other vendors there? Like stuff like that. Like, so we went to Pensacola and the sales were like,
Really?
it just wasn't the right crowd, and granted the weather was bad, yada, yada. But my husband and I look at each other. I'm like, we're not going back here again.
Makes sense.
So, I mean, and sometimes that happens just because the elements aren't there, like the weather is bad or whatever. But, no, I think even if it's not a great decision, you learn from it. So I wouldn't really change anything, if I had to change the business, and my uncle taught me this he told me this at one point, he said, choose a low inventory business.
Okay.
It's a lot of carrying costs in a tax shop. I mean, you've got to pay for it even though it hasn't sold yet.
Exactly.
Right. So
That's what I can't figure out about certain businesses, like a wine store or a liquor store.
yeah.
And I love going to look at wine labels.
Yeah.
So especially if I'm traveling to see a wine shop, I'll pull in and just kind of check it out. And the thought is always in my mind, it's like, man, some of these wines have to be here for a long time.
Yeah. So,
what are they doing with that carrying cost, right?
it's
like,
huge because you pay taxes on that inventory as personal property every year. So if it sits there, you're going to pay tax on it again.
Right. I mean, really, it's almost like an art, right? You have to, and some of it is a guessing game, right?
Huge guessing game.
You think this is going to sell and you hope it's going to sell, and sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. But I think as time goes on, you kind of learn like, okay, this is what I should be carrying versus not so much of this and definitely not this.
Right. Or like even sizing, like these are the sizes we sell the most of. And some people are like, well, I need this size. Y'all don't ever have this size. So I get that size in, and guess what? They don't buy it. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do?
Right.
So.
And also it's moving the inventory, right? If something isn't selling it, putting it on sale.
Yeah. Well, you look at it, you're like, it's been paid for.
Yes.
Mark it down and get it
Get
out,
rid of it.
because people want to see new stuff.
Yeah. So it is a bit of an art, and you have to be quick.
Yes.
You have to be quick.
Well, for our listeners, it's interesting because you all are in the same business.
Right.
to a
Oh, okay.
certain
Somewhat.
degree.
So my husband and I own a pharmacy.
Yes.
And a fourth of the store is a gift shop.
Yeah.
And, I carry kids' clothes and stuff like that. So, we go to market once or twice
Yes.
a year. And
Yep.
it's like at market, you're really guessing. You kind of like are looking at everybody. What is everybody
And you're like this
buying?
when you walk into market. You're like, oh,
Yes, yes. You will be overwhelmed.
yeah.
So again, it's a guessing game. When we first went to market, we weren't really carrying anything at the store. And so you go into market and you guess what's going to sell. And then you discover that doesn't sell. This does sell. Get more of this, less of this.
Yeah.
And then all the stuff that you've had for 2-3 years, you're like basically just giving it away.
Give it away.
You're
Get it out.
I'm not making any money on it. I may be losing money on it, but I need it to move.
Yeah.
Right. Need it to move.
Write
so yeah,
write it off
you go.
and get
Right.
it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it is a challenge. I hear you and I feel you.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to market for the first time in a long time in August, and I was very overwhelmed.
You went to Dallas?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was,
you can't even really describe it. You can tell someone what it's like.
Wait, so it's the same market,
well, they have different floors of the building.
Anything. Yeah. Market has everything.
but it would be the same period of time.
Typically,
They
so
go
maybe
around,
they'll cross over a little bit. But so like, I think in August, it was like floor 10 and 11 or
Right.
something. My main
Right.
floors are 10, 11, 12, something
And they
like
had
that.
horse.
Mainly horse stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but then they have I went down to like the Douglas Toys or whatever,
Mhm.
maybe on floor 4,
Mhm.
which you might carry in the pharmacy, whatnot.
Right.
So yeah, you can go to but this is like furniture. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many, it's very overwhelming.
And throughout the year, market specializes on certain things. So like right now would be like home and decor, right? So then you have like temporary vendors that come in just for that market. And then you have kids apparel. And then
Yeah.
you're probably talking about
Yes.
like,
So our market comes in a couple weeks or maybe next week, like the 21st, I think.
all the dates are different this year
Yes.
because of the soccer games that are going to be in Dallas. So they've shifted either 2 weeks earlier or 2 weeks back. Like all the dates.
I don't know,
are
I'm
very
not
different
going. I
this
was
year.
like, it's too much.
Yeah, we're skipping this year too.
Yeah.
Well, I find it interesting that they would have equestrian.
They have probably
Market.
two whole floors of just like, yeah, it's insane,
I would have never
Chris.
thought that.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It
Yeah.
is. There's no other way to describe it than crazy.
Good. Let's make sure Haley never goes with you.
She should.
She would have a good time. Especially at the last day, they do like cash and carry,
Oh yeah.
like their samples. So you can say like, hey, can I buy this sample?
Start power negotiating.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
but once you establish your vendors too, you don't necessarily have to go every year because you already
Right.
have these relationships.
Yes.
But when you first starting off and you find in vendors, it's like, whew.
Well, so my issue, which is a good thing and a bad thing, is that there are no other tax shops in Louisiana or even maybe Mississippi.
Really?
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's great though.
It's great, but the reps don't want to come to you because it's not like they can go hit 3 or 4 tax shops,
Yeah.
get their orders, and then leave, So I try to book stuff with the reps that come to me
Right.
because they're making the effort and they're, spending the money to come see me. So, but yeah, it's tough sometimes.
So what's like some of your top selling items?
Oh, I mean, probably just generally clothes, paddock boots, which are the little short boots, for kids. And ladies and men use them too, but it's like when you're getting into riding, so say you have 50 people who start riding, you probably have, I would say 20 to 25 who continue riding. Either one, it's just not for them. 2, they're scared, whatever the case may be. But the longer they're in it, the more they're willing to spend and get the quality stuff, right? So the lower priced items, which I try to have for everybody. And of course, when the economy is not so great, people want the lower priced items. So, like the entry level helmet, the entry level boots, some of the clothes. I mean, some of the clothes are pretty pricey,
So do you buy anything back and then sell it as a different type of market? Like gently used?
I mean, like consignment.
So what we do twice a year, we do consignment saddles all year long.
Okay.
So what we do twice a year is ever say when in March is our next sale. The end of March, we'll get rid of all of our spring stuff. Fall stuff. Sorry. And put that all 50% off. But then our customers can come in and bring all their stuff to sell on consignment.
Got it.
So we just do it for the weekend. So it gives them an option to sell stuff, but I don't do it all year long. So it's
It's too much.
It's too much. Yeah. And I just don't have the space for it.
Oh, makes sense. Okay.
But so it gives them opportunity and it's a great thing. People love it. I mean, people are literally lined up outside.
Really?
Oh yeah. Friday morning, it's like we open at 10. People are lined up at 8:30.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So it's gotten good. I mean, I'm proud of myself for that because people are like, oh, sales are good. Got to get rid of it, right?
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about the dual career path here you've got going. I'm guessing you probably never would have foreseen yourself having two careers.
No.
You thought it was going to be the grocery business.
Yeah.
Now, ironically, you end up in a retail setting.
Yes.
What's some of the pros and cons
of dual career?
Yeah, of having two careers, meaning you have an active real estate practice and then the shop.
I would say there's the cons of both businesses would be never being able to detach. Like as a business owner and as real estate, people want to get in touch with you, whether it's through social media, whether it's through text, whether that would be the con of both of them. Like vacation, you still got to answer your phone. I mean, a customer needs something. I want them to be happy with whatever they need, whether it be, hey, I can't help you right now. Call the shop at 10 when it opens, whether, message at 6 a.m. And, I'm sitting there drinking my coffee. Or real estate, somebody's texting me last night and they're like, hey, I want to see this piece of property tomorrow. I'm like, well, I can do it later in the afternoon, whichever. So it's just constant, never being able to detach would be the con of both of those, I think.
What's an advantage?
Flexibility. It's not that it's easy to leave town because you're obviously still working.
Right.
And most of the time, say real estate's slow, just go out of town and people send you an offer on a listing and, like that's what happens. Right. But more so like with the shop, since I have such good employees, I can kind of leave that. I know that they're going to get online orders to the post office on time. I know that everything, they can make the decisions, so I guess, flexibility.
Yeah. And I think as business owners, I would say almost everybody would say the same thing, right? You have that flexibility, but you never truly get to 100% checkout.
Right.
You either have payroll, you have employee issues, you have customer issues, somebody needs something. There's always something that comes up.
Yes. Right.
So you will never be 100% checked out.
No, unfortunately, that's the world today.
Right.
With cell phones.
It's very true.
I guess we just have to go somewhere where there's no cell phones for us.
Yeah, I think.
But that would make us so uncomfortable.
Well, that's the other part.
Yeah.
Right? And so, when you love what you do.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a love-hate relationship. But when you love what you do, sometimes it's hard to get away from it anyway.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
well, you always have your ear down to what's going on, right?
And you want to know.
Yes.
Now you may not want to know the bad stuff while you're out of town. Like, can you wait on that? But yeah, I found the same thing for me. I think, I'm trying to think. I think the only time I fully unplugged was probably a couple of days with a death in the family. And then really it wasn't until right before I sold the business and intentionally took an extended trip to kind of make sure everything was where I thought it was mentally. But, outside of that, even if I went, I would try to put it away for a few days. But then my itch and my desire to...
It's just our personalities, I think.
to want to know. Yeah. And not necessarily to micromanage it, but just to check in.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And so, but I think that's a special wiring.
Yeah.
because I have lots of peers and friends who are very different and they're very good. And a lot of them have incredible jobs with a lot of responsibility, but I find they're much better. And I'd say almost all of them are not business owners. They're capable of it. They're just not in those roles.
Yeah.
They're very good at drawing that line
Really?
and just putting
It's
it
hard
aside
for
and
me.
it'll wait. And I'm like, man, I'm sort of envious
Yeah.
sometimes to that.
Yeah.
And it's just not how I'm wired. So
I have a friend who you text her about whatever, right? We're on a board together. And it's not that she's ignoring you. I just think she puts her phone down for a couple hours a day and she then gets to it and answers,
Right.
gets you right what you needed. But I'm like, how does she do that? I feel like I need to respond ASAP.
Look, that's how I am. That's how I am. too.
I can't get myself to, let go of, and I don't know if it's just my personality, the type
We used
A.
to have a rule at the law firm where you had to respond to an email within 24 hours. And now some people don't respond to emails for a week, and that is completely acceptable. And I'm like, okay,
I know, but I'm just like,
but I can't.
I don't. Yeah,
And I don't know
gives
that I
me like
ever
heart
will be.
palpitations. I couldn't go. No.
Same thing with text messages. I feel like I have to respond right away.
Yeah.
yeah, one of my pet peeves, which is earlier when you said communication is vital. I just, and people are like, well, I'm busy, and thinking, I'm sure you are, but I've been real busy too. And,
Yeah.
and so it's just, to me, it's a sign of, attention combined with courteousness
Yes.
Agree.
and dependent upon what you're doing, professionalism.
Agree.
Certain jobs, you don't really need to be professional in it, so to speak, in its traditional sense. But I think they're all tied together.
Absolutely.
And then it's the other side of the brain, which is just how we need to operate individually to make sure we feel good about what we're doing.
Yes.
That's probably 50% of the battle.
Yeah.
And so for people who aren't wired like that, I think it's harder for them to comply with the other side of it because
Yeah.
they're not living their day-to-day life like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So then they're like, well, I looked at it. It just wasn't important.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't feel
right.
like I needed to respond.
Yeah. It wasn't important to you, but it was important to me or,
Right.
to someone else.
Right.
And,
Well, it's like you do something, and I'm like, I have a checklist every day, right? The left side is today, the right side is bonus, right? So if I can get some of this stuff done too, awesome. But once I check it off my list and I rewrite it the next day, I don't put that on there, the checked item, right? I did it.
You did it.
So now I'm relying on that other person. It's now in your court.
Mm-hmm.
It's now your job or and when
Right.
people don't, I'm like, it's so disappointing to me.
It is.
You act like we've got a job to do, whether it be a real estate transaction or whatever. I have a question about an order that I placed. Like, you don't respond, you don't acknowledge nothing. I'm like, well, what is going on?
Right.
So anyway, that's one of my,
so how long have you been using that checklist approach to organize yourself?
as long as I can remember.
Really?
Gosh, I'm a lister too. Every day,
I'm still a lister.
I have
don't
to
do
have
one
my
every
list.
day.
I do. It's great. It's important and extra. Yep.
I have to have a list every day, and I have a paper calendar, a digital calendar.
Yep.
I have probably 3 calendars I work off of, and I don't know how people function without that.
No, I have the old
Their lives
school.
are probably a lot less stressful.
Did we get everything done on our list? I mean,
Right.
it's the old paper calendar with the leather cover, that I've had forever. And you buy the new insert, and
Well, it's funny. I was trying desperately to convert away from the paper, probably over the last 10 years. And I just couldn't do it. And then I was getting better at it. And then I was like, I'm really going to commit about a year and a half ago. And then I felt like I was doing okay, but I still had notes all over my desk.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm just ordering another one of those binders where I can put the inserts. And now I feel so much better about it. So now, like you, I have 2 digital calendars because Outlook doesn't always sync with the Apple one. So I got those 2 going. Try to do the reminders so I see them. And then I have the paper. I don't really put my calendar on paper. I use that more like my to-do list, broken down by things I'm involved in, whether it's house or, the the podcast or
Yeah.
other things.
No,
Right.
I order my calendar every year around October for the
Mhm.
next year, and then I start writing in that. I know it's crazy,
Nope.
but it's how it works.
So you touched on something else, which I think is another big issue for not just business owners, but people managing people, which is accountability. At least that's what I heard you
Yeah.
sort of venting about a second ago.
Yeah.
When someone doesn't get something done. So I think we both agree, Anna, that the word accountability gets thrown around and it all sounds good. And it's like, it's like saying I love you in the first date. It's like, this sounds good, I guess. But anyone hearing that would be like, they don't love you. I raised two girls, so that's total bullshit. But I think accountability is similar in some ways where it's just like it's a word that gets used, but ultimately to execute on it, to incorporate it is a challenge.
For many people is a challenge.
And so when you are, let's talk about where you're trying to hold someone accountable that works for you, as opposed to your real estate scenario where you've got lots of folks you're working with that don't work for you.
Right.
You might be their client, but
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do, when you have someone who maybe is great in certain ways, but the accountability is just lacking? How do you approach that?
I just talk to them. I just say I have a great employee and there's a couple of them that get a little lax, and I'll talk with them and about, they're supposed to be there at 9:45. The shop's supposed to be open at 10. Probably a week or two before Christmas, one of the girls was supposed to be there. It's like 10:05. Customer has then come and gone. Was not happy.
$700 helmet purchase.
I was not happy. Not happy. But I have gotten wiser in my age and chose not to say anything at that moment because I would have chewed them a new rear end. So I calmed down, and the next time I saw them, I said, and they were late again. And I said, hey, we got to work on this. Like, what's going on? Is there something going on that is interfering with you getting here on time? Oh, well, I had something extra I didn't anticipate. Well, it's happening a lot. So maybe you should anticipate that extra whatever, because the store needs to be open and we need not to be missing any clients or customers coming in. Okay, I'm really sorry about that. I said, okay. Then it's been fine since.
Yeah.
But I
also find sorry is also overused.
Yeah.
And I guess I think about it in raising kids too. It's like, sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And it's like, at some point, it's like,
show me.
Sorry once is sorry. And then if it's the same action that you keep apologizing for, right? The behavior needs to change because you're not sorry. Because if you were truly sorry,
you wouldn't be doing it again.
Right?
Right.
Or you would do it a little differently, maybe, and make a mistake, but that's not. It's
I
the
feel
exact
like I
same
have
thing.
that conversation every day with my 6-year-old. So now I'm like, maybe he's too young to understand sorry. And he may be, but I tell him the same thing. I'm like, you tell me you're sorry 50 times a day.
No.
I was like, that's not being sorry. The exact same thing you just said. But as it pertains to employees, I think it's really important that you address it head on. And you touched on something that I've learned the hard way is addressing it when you're calm. It's kind of like, don't fire off that email when you're angry. Type it, put it in your drafts, come back and reread it a couple hours later, because it's going to change. 100% you will change it.
I almost did it with another real estate agent the other day. And her email came off very rude. But my husband always says I look into things too much, like the text messages, the intonation is not there. It's not somebody's voice, So he's like, I think you're looking into it too much. I think it's just them saying whatever, So I was about to fire back and I was like, power type it. And I took a breath and I walked away and I came back and I did it again. And then I finally said, you know what? It's not worth it.
Right.
It's not worth it. So I just let her mean comment or rude comment. Maybe it's not rude. And I just let it go. It wasn't easy to do, but I did it.
Right. Right.
Where I struggle is, it's taken me a while to learn this too. Now it happens again. And you let it slide.
Right.
And then it happens again. And then I'm kind of like, I hit the point where I'm like, all right, maybe God's trying to tell me it's an opportunity to coach this person.
Yeah.
Not because I'm better than them, but
No,
maybe
but-
they don't even realize how this
Right.
is coming on.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's this, and that's my way of justifying it in a positive way, because the other side of me is like, I want to get fiery and put them in their place. And I find that to be a real challenge where there's certain personalities who are keyboard warriors.
Yes.
And then when sometimes you have to confront the bully.
Yes.
And it's hard in a professional context or an employee-employer relationship or a client relationship. But ultimately, I do think that you've got to, at some point, if it continues, you probably have to find a way to address it. And it's a real
Absolutely.
challenge. And some people don't take it
No.
very well.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't want to ignore it either, because then the problem becomes bigger. The
Well, and then
example
they
you
keep
use
doing it
with
to
your
you, and they
employee,
do it to other people,
Right.
know? So, yeah, it has to be addressed, preferably via conversation, though,
Mhm.
and say, hey, is there an issue? Because I feel like I've done my job. I feel like I've done this. Please let me know if I've communicated something poorly
Right.
or if I did something or whatever. Or if you have a preference as to how you would like to communicate, let me know.
Yeah.
As one of our former bosses used to say, with all due respect, I
No,
learned
just
that at watching him in court. That was his polite way of telling the judge or opposing counsel,
Yeah.
you're wrong, and I'm going
Yep,
to tell you why
yeah.
you're wrong.
Yeah.
But I have to be courteous.
With all due
Mhm.
respect.
With all due respect.
Yes.
And that's a little formal for most
Yeah.
settings, but
Yeah.
I watched and learned him use that technique, and I've used it on occasion when
Yeah.
when
That's
appropriate.
great.
But it is hard because you don't want to, at least for me, I don't want to come across ever as cocky
No.
or pompous or pretentious. Those are things characteristics I just literally cannot stand.
Right.
And so I'm always then counterbalancing in my head, even though I know that the scenario is set up where I'm probably correct,
Yeah.
that their tone is off or the way they're handling it. But then I'm counterbalancing in my head, well, maybe you came off the wrong way. And if you reply, maybe you're going to reply the wrong way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I do think that your advice is good, which is write the text or the email, don't send it.
Right.
Text is trickier. Well, now you can recall the text, but you got to do it quick because
You gotta do it quick, because if they read
most
it.
people are reading the text faster than they reply.
Yes.
Me.
And so, but taking that moment to calm the brain.
Yeah. It's
Get out
not
of
worth
fight or
it
flight.
because I would spit some stuff off sometimes when it's not worth it, honestly, to start like, hey, just take a deep breath. And
The other thing that gets me is, and I've had this experience over the last several months, back to the sorry thing.
Mhm.
There are just some instances where it's like something is so clear that all you really want someone to do is just say, hey, sorry.
Yeah.
It's just not that complicated. I feel like most people say it way too often.
and
when
some
they
people don't
need to
ever say it.
And then
Yeah.
you've got this other block of people who, just robbed you blind and you
Yeah.
caught them and you're like, can you just tell me I'm sorry?
Right. I'll forgive you.
It will make it all feel better. Just say you're sorry. And,
Sorry, not sorry.
and I
Like,
went
what?
through this with a business owner, and in 3 different scenarios or 4 where they were clearly there's no debate that they were on the wrong side of it.
Yeah.
Crystal clear. And I was the customer.
Mm.
And it was boiling my blood. And all I really wanted,
All they needed to say was sorry,
hey man,
and you'd have been fine.
or my bad. There's 100 ways to say it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't care how you say it. And until the end of the relationship, which I ended recently, never did get it.
Nothing.
So I shared it not with that person, but with their employee and said, this could be so simple.
Yeah.
Right.
Just my bad. People make mistakes. I get it. I make
Absolutely.
mistakes.
Just
It's
own
okay.
it.
Just own it.
Yeah.
And then let's just move on.
Yes.
So it's this weird, I don't know if dichotomy is the right word, but these groups of people who, some overuse it, some
Yep.
will never say it, which I've been told I don't say it with family too often, but I'm working on it. I'm trying.
That's
No
it.
comment.
Hey.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, look, it's Anna.
I'm totally
You
kidding.
worked with me for. It's hard when you are so close to perfection that it's just hard to say you're sorry.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
What is something most people don't know about you?
I don't know. I guess it's been so long that I did have a sister.
Mm-hmm.
And then I changed my last name when I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my grandfather's name. So I don't know. I don't feel like there's really anything major that people don't know about me.
I'd say those are two major ones.
I mean,
I changed my last name and you had a sister. So.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Asking for a friend. Were you in the CIA or anything? Or no? Okay, I was just checking. I think you could tell us. Yeah, that is interesting. I thought you were going to say that you were really good at making sandwiches, finger sandwiches.
I am really good at that.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
3 things you've told us.
I
That's
am really
right.
good at making a finger sandwich. If you ever like order late somewhere, you need some help, just let me know.
Did you cut the ends off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to use an electric knife.
Oh.
Got to have shaved meat.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Shaved meat. And you can
This is
injure
gonna sound really-
you can injure your shoulder doing that, shaving meat.
I'm more worried about the fingers when I watch people. I can't even watch it at the deli. Watching them do the meat, I'm like, oh my God, I'm
Yeah,
gonna watch
one
somebody
thing
hack their finger off.
Working in the deli for so long, people would ask for like pastrami.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's pastrami that has all the pepper on the
Mhm.
outside. Worst, because the pepper gets all over the
Oh,
slicer.
no.
Then you got to clean the slicer before you cut
no.
anybody else's meat. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh, wow.
one of my pet peeves that it hurts my heart to ask for shaved meat at the grocery store because I know how bad it is, like what a pain it is to slice
I was going to
shaved
say
meat.
something really dumb
What?
because I would have never.
I didn't know you
this
could
is
order
gonna be
that from
really
the deli.
dumb. I would have never even. Now that you're saying shaved meat, I'm like, man, that is why the sandwiches you get from the grocery store are always a little better than when people make them at home.
Yeah.
And now I know the answer is so simple right there.
Shaved
Then I'm
meat.
like, I didn't even know you could ask the deli to shave the meat.
I definitely didn't know that.
Yeah. It just takes longer, right? So anyway.
Yeah. And I usually, I've made finger sandwiches, but I always do mini pull boys because I find those are easier to make.
So you gotta have like the electric. I don't know that you would clean a fish with these things, but just the electric, and then you just cut the crust off.
Yeah, the little electric bread knife. Kind of like,
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, well, that's
now
a
I know.
good tip
Now I know.
because I entertain a lot. So
It's shaved meat.
Shaved.
it feels like the tuna salad and the egg salad is starting to fall off the sandwich.
A lot of people, I guess, don't want it.
Yeah. Where I think 20 years ago, I felt like anywhere you went that had finger sandwiches. there was
Yeah, that's
always
part
an
of it.
egg and a tuna.
Yeah.
And now it's like you never see that.
Well, I think it would be like 2 ham sandwiches, 2 turkey, 2 roast beef, 2 egg, 2 chicken salad, right?
Mhm.
Maybe that's too many. Anyway,
I rarely saw the chicken salad. I think that was more like a special order. Probably because
okay.
it was pricier.
Yeah,
With
maybe
the
so.
chicken
So
was cheaper and the
good.
eggs cheaper.
They're
Yeah.
so good. They're usually
Yeah.
really good.
Well, and now you show up with like what I call the traditional sandwiches.
Yep.
Someplace and everybody's like looking at it like, who brought this? Because now everybody, including Langenstein, is doing the fancy sandwiches. And they've got, the croissants with the fancy chicken salad and
Yeah.
the grape on the top,
Muffaladas
right?
and
And
Yeah.
the finger sandwiches.
Yeah.
Didn't know we'd get into that today, but this is
I know.
good.
There you go.
Good information. Huh?
Good information.
Yeah.
Passing it along.
Yeah.
How do you define success?
Definitely not money, but it is nice to be comfortable,
Mhm.
right? Some people I feel like they want more. I feel like right now in my life, I am very fortunate. I have a great husband. I have 2 children. My mom lives next door. My grandmother is still healthy and alive at 94 years old.
Awesome.
So I feel like, just being happy with what you have. I mean, I feel like I'm successful, some people want the $1 million houses. Some people want the yachts or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, well, I don't want to. I want to take my kids on some cool experiences.
Mhm.
I think I'll deem myself successful when my kids are contributing to society.
Okay. Now, how old are your kids?
They are almost 14, twins.
Oh, awesome.
Yep. So
Okay.
Two boys, two girls, boy, girl.
boy, girl.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
my daughter is on the spectrum. So this is something that I kind of wanted to reach out to y'all about. Maybe y'all can help me. So if I were to ever change roles or, not lifestyle, jobs, it would be to do something for my daughter, for her to be able to feel like, or to contribute to society. Being on the spectrum, has obviously its different challenges. And I know that she's a great person. She's got a good heart, but everyday life is not the easiest thing for her. So if there was ever something different that I wanted to do, it would be something, I don't know if you've ever seen Jordan Shirts on TikTok. It's a young lady who's on the spectrum, and her mom started this t-shirt shop, and it is ginormous now, but like she posts pictures and videos of Jordan and how they make accommodations for her. So like they have a little card, like from Jordan, whatever. So the card slides into a holder and she signs her name, or she, does a stamp or something, to where she's able to make the little cards. Or when she makes the sticker packs, they do a template. She puts one here, one here, one here, one here. She got them all together. She puts them all together, puts them in a bag, and they're ready to go. Right.
Right.
It's very interesting to me. This mom did this, and now it's this thriving business, and not so much to make money, but to make her daughter feel like she's contributing to, or is contributing to society,
Right.
So that would be my, kind of my thing in the back of my head that I'm always like, hey, what can we do? So I don't know.
Something process oriented, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she loves bracelets. And I actually asked, I don't know what your name of ChatGPT was.
Grok.
Grok?
That's the Twitter or X version.
Oh, okay. Well, I asked ChatGPT the other day, just like, hey, what kind of businesses for my daughter who's on the spectrum would she be able to thrive and, be, add to society, yada, yada. And it says some pretty cool things, but I emailed it to myself so I could read over it. But I feel like that's, if I did something different, that's what I would like to do.
Yeah, that's
Figure that out.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure that she would ever live on her own. So maybe, when my husband and I are older, for her to like maybe travel with us, but something that she could continue doing while we're traveling.
Do you homeschool her?
No, she goes to a school in Abito. It's called Bright House Learning Academy. It's great. It's a great school. She loves it. There's a lot of children there who are on the spectrum. Maybe I'm not going to say all this right, but in the public school system, you get to a certain point where they kind of want you to go to a certain school with a lot of behavioral issues. And a lot of parents may send their children there because they need some money somewhere for the child to go for the day. Right. And her teachers, where she was, said that's not the place for her. She doesn't have behavioral issues. It's just, late cognitive development. So we found this place, Bright House Learning Academy, and it's amazing. So she's probably like 6 kids in her class.
Oh, good.
That's good. And they're great. She loves it. So she can actually technically graduate from there if she wants to. And so if one day she does want to go to college and there's some sort of situation where she can, go alongside a mentor or whatnot, then that opportunity will be there. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I feel like that desire of a parent, at least from my perspective, my girls are 24 and 22 now, and don't have any medical issues that they're dealing with. But that feel of a parent of like, how could I do something cool with them? I don't know about for them in their case, because it's a little different, right?
Yeah.
But that desire is there from a parent standpoint. And then there's the other side where it's like, they've got to figure it out. Because most of the ideas I come up with, it's like, that sounds good, but what exactly would my role be? Like, oh, you would be at the coffee shop at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to. 5
Yeah.
a.m. And I got to work out at like 10 o'clock. So
I'm busy.
But yeah, I think that is a normal, at least for me, I think
Yeah.
that's a fairly normal feel of like, it's interesting looking at your kids and going, what are they going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I don't know, that some parents, I think, feel like, how could I facilitate that beyond doing the things that
Yeah.
you're doing to give them a good foundation and hopefully some
Right.
good core values,
Yes.
education and all those things. And then seeing what you do in life, hopefully that translates. at some
Leading
point
by
in their life.
example.
Yeah.
A good example.
So I'm presuming all those things are in a good place, as we know they're not for
Yeah.
most people. But
Yeah.
and then it's like this little desire of, boy, it'd be kind of cool to do something together.
Yeah.
Which was going to be another question I had for you, which is, so you've seen two family businesses that you've been exposed to, involved in, and deeply involved in.
hmm
What are, well, here we go. You were saying maybe we could give you advice. Now maybe.
Yeah.
So, if I was like, say it's a couple weeks from now and we're at the gym and I'm like, hey, guess what? I'm going to go into this business deal with my daughter, one of my daughters. What would you say to me from what's a watch out? Maybe like, okay, well, here's some thoughts. And what would you tell me as far as, hey, it could be great, right? Like, what's the pros and cons from your seat of what you've seen?
It can be great. It can also be harder though, being that it's family and money can change people.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if there's just, hey, we're going to start this small little business and tinker with this, like make sure you're as an attorney, right? Make sure there's percentage of ownership or whatever, however you want, does she get 51? Do you get 51? That sort of thing.
Right.
Do you have
More like 99-1.
do you have a third person on the board who breaks a tie vote? I guess it depends on how big this business goes,
To treat it as arm's length as possible.
I think so. I mean, you don't want to lose the relationship over a business with your daughter ever.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the old line, never go in business with family or friends,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I've done multiple times.
Yeah.
And fortunately, in all but one circumstance, it worked out.
Okay.
With that said, there's been a couple that were probably the probability of it going bad was probably great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it didn't, given the strength of the relationship. So I feel very blessed.
Yeah.
Right.
That it didn't. And when I was going into one of them, I had a business partner say to me, I said, what do you think about this idea? He says, I think it's a terrible idea. It's totally going to go to crap. And I was like, oh, okay. He said, but I think you should do it anyway. And I said, well, that's interesting advice. He goes, because, you're in a position to do it.
Right.
Family, do it. And just deal with it.
Yeah.
If it goes bad, but it will.
Yeah.
And it didn't go totally bad, but there were some challenges.
Yes.
And then that person said, well, I told you so, but see, it was still a good experience.
Yes.
Right.
And I thought that was good advice.
Yeah.
But I do think it comes to the strength of the relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple times my mom and I, when we were still doing, she still owns part of the store,
Right.
but she's basically a silent, partner. And there's been a couple of times where I've made some choices and she's like, I don't agree with that. You need to come speak with me first. And I'm like, okay, sorry, my bad. I didn't think it was a problem.
Well, it's good you said sorry and my bad. There's two ways to do it. Was this a scenario where you wrote a text back and you were like, okay, I'm not going to send this because it's mom?
No. We were on the phone and she was not happy. And so I knew it wasn't gonna, get any better. So I just appeased her and said, I'll let you know next time.
Right.
Fair.
Yeah. And
I don't, but
some other sage advice that I think is applicable to this. It was not given to me in the context, but I think it's applicable. I was talking to someone one day and they were telling me that they shared a boat with their cousin.
Okay.
And I said, oh, how does that go? He's like, well, it's great because you get to share the expense and all that. And he says, you have to understand you can't sweat the small stuff. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, like, for example, most of the time when I show up to use the boat, there's no gas in it. And he said, it used to just drive me nuts. And he said, but ultimately, I knew my cousin wasn't doing that intentionally. We
Right.
love each other.
Yeah.
It's just how the brain operates and whatever. And he said, and so, or, maybe there's a little small nick somewhere or whatever. It's like, you can't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's very applicable
Yeah.
being in business or having family work for you.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It's very good advice.
Yeah. You got to just kind of keep
Is
your
it
eye
going
on
to
the ball.
matter in 5 years? Most of the time, no.
And that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a great way to
on
look
that
at it.
note, I saw something the other day. It was one of these little things that pops up on Instagram. And it was somewhat spiritual, but it really wasn't in that context. I picked it up as being spiritual, but it was like, 100 years from now, no one's going to remember you for most people.
Yeah.
And obviously, some people who reach a certain amount of fame and a building's named after them. Maybe
Right.
the names that
Yeah.
people
Or you have a
still-
podcast, right? Because it will be out there forever and ever.
Right. Forever
right,
and ever.
especially a very successful one.
Yeah.
So 100 years from now, for 99% of the population, no one will,
Yeah.
even family, will not, your great-great-grandchildren
Correct.
will not know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, what I took away, I think the point the person was making is so don't sweat the small stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These things we think are important, ultimately.
I think it is easier said than done.
It's
well,
so
no doubt.
Right. And the older we get, I feel like it does get easier. I'm like, who cares really? Like maybe we care for that moment,
Right.
but nobody else has even noticed that whatever's gone wrong,
Right.
So it's like,
And I've been trying to take it down a notch over the last couple of years. I feel like I was so,
tightly wound.
yeah. And I don't know if Anna agrees, but I was having a drink with my cousin and I said, do you feel like I've kind of calmed a little bit? She's like, yeah, I definitely think you've calmed down a little bit. And not that I was irate or anything, but
No.
in just reacting to mostly business things. And then,
Yeah.
like you say, when you're a business owner, it flows over into your personal life.
Absolutely.
Just always wanting everything to be not necessarily my way, but the way it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Mhm.
As a business needs to be run.
So I feel like that in a family event too. Like, what do you mean you're coming at 11? You're supposed to be here at 10.
Yeah.
So trying to do a better job with focusing on the big stuff and
Yes.
not let the small stuff get to me.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
It is hard
You meant for me or just in general?
in general.
Okay, good.
No. I mean, I if you're asking me, I just feel like right now the work relationship, the podcast is just different for us. We were in a different environment where I think you had to be a certain way, I had to be a certain way. With this is just kind of more flexibility.
Yeah.
So
I think kids make you a little more flexible too. You have to go
You
with the
have
flow
to.
sometimes.
yes,
And
they make you crazy too.
yeah. And you're just like, oh, you know what? There's spit up on the floor. There's it's just going to have to stay there till I get back, whatever the case may
And I
be.
said they make you crazy. Every time we go on vacation, I'm like, that's it. We're not doing this again. And then we do it a month later.
I was going to say 6 days later, she's like, yeah, let's go on vacation again.
Let's go on vacation again.
And especially the older they get.
Yeah.
So now having to be a parent of adults.
You think it's harder?
I don't know that it's harder. I think it's harder for many. I'm watching, I like seeing how other people do things.
Yeah.
Take the best and leave the worst. I definitely think a lot of people struggle with it.
Like becoming empty nesters or?
No. Well, I think people struggle with that too.
Yeah.
That's to me, another whole topic of discussion.
You mean
of how do you, right now, so think about it. If you look at the three of us, you have 6 and
6 and 3.
6 and 3.
Wow.
You have 2 at 14.
Yeah.
And I've got 22,
Yeah.
24.
Yeah.
So we are really, got a lot
3
to
different
probably
stages.
share,
Yeah.
3 different stages and all very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no, I think the ability to adapt the parenting style, which is challenging if you're a proactive parent,
Yeah.
and moving to hey, at 14, it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
gonna
living
give
in my
you-
house.
I'm going to give you some discretion.
Yeah.
And as my dad would say, I'm going to give you the rope and it's going to be a long rope. And depending upon what you do, depending upon how short it is or if it disappears.
Yeah.
And that's how I was raised. But with the girls, it's like now they're adults.
Mm-hmm.
And so ultimately the conversations over the last several years have shifted to like, I'm going to give you my thoughts sometimes when you don't want them, because I'm your dad and I'm your biggest cheerleader that you'll ever have.
Yeah.
And I'm going to also try to learn to not give you my thoughts sometimes. And ultimately, this is your life. You know, so whether it's what you're going to study in school or where you're going to go to school or, who you're going to hang out with. When you're 14, I have control over that. Yeah. Mostly, unless it's Romeo and Juliet. I've got more control. But at 22.
No.
So you have to, in my opinion, you have to adapt and you have to shift, because I don't want to be parenting Zoe and Haley like they're 14. That doesn't work.
No.
And I know people who are still in that relationship with their parents at 40. And it's like, it drives them nuts.
Yeah. Fair.
So I think God prepares us through the stages to get ready for ultimately where I want to land, which is, I'm always going to be your dad.
Right.
Yes, but you want to raise successful children
and however they define it. And not the way I define it.
Yeah.
That's another big issue. Yeah. Because I think your kids grow up seeing you as early on as kind of these superheroes to a certain degree.
Right.
But they don't really know a lot about your background.
No. Yeah.
And it's very interesting. I'm still learning. My dad's 75. We spend a ton of time together. I'm very blessed like you.
Yeah.
My dad lives across the street from us. And so I spend a lot of time. I'm still learning things about my dad.
Isn't that cool?
Stories.
Yeah.
I'm like, how have I never heard this story?
Yeah.
Right?
He does have a million stories.
He does have
a million great stories, I'm sure.
And still, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
From him.
Yeah.
And that's what I want with my kids. I want to, but I don't want to have my thumb on them all the time.
No.
Because that just doesn't work. And I see that. I'm like, gotta let it go.
Yeah.
The biggest one I see is when the kids go off to college. It's literally it's about 90%. I hear from one of the parents. It's like, I don't even hear from Anna. She's up there. It's like, don't hear from him.
Yeah.
Wise parents have always been through it. Go, that's actually a good thing. That means things are going well.
Yeah.
They're
not on the struggle bus.
Yeah. They're figuring it out. Like, don't be offended.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to spread their wings and just let them do it. But that's hard.
Yes.
Because our personality is what? Check in. That's how we are, right? Mm-hmm. Just check in.
Right.
Yeah. But you want them to be able to do it on their own, and you raise them to be able to do it on their own, set your alarm clock, do all the things, and then they can do it. And it's like, oh, okay.
And then be careful what you wish for. Because I always say, I want to raise independent
women,
that can stand up for themselves, that can have a strong personality when needed.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then you get it, and you're like, maybe this is not exactly
maybe not that
what
strong.
I was thinking about. Maybe not this independent, but ultimately, it's I think it's important.
Absolutely,
and especially I feel, and this is probably controversial, but when raising girls, I think it's different.
Yeah,
I haven't raised boys, but I have nephews that I treat like my children, and I think the styles are a little bit different.
Absolutely,
like my dad used to always say, he said he had boys for a reason.
Yeah.
Because, my dad's discipline in most instances was what was coming out of his mouth would have probably broken the heart of a little girl.
Yeah. But he wouldn't have said that kind of stuff for the little girl. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't have.
And so, I think God's hand plays a role in that too.
Yes.
For sure. All right. Best advice given to you.
Can I quote something?
Sure.
I try to use this every day is it's better to be the one who smiled than didn't smile back. So walk into a room, don't walk in with a presence and, not that you're better than anybody. It's not,
sure.
But just light the room up. Don't dim it.
Yeah.
Would be the best advice. Even if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, and if you're not sure of the situation, put your shoulders back and give yourself a little kick in the hiney, and you can do it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that one.
Mm-mm. But you know where it took me? Remember we used to tell people at work, like, say good morning. If you're passing by someone, just
yes.
good morning. Remember some people would just walk and like, oh, you're like, oh God, that's so odd.
I just feel like it's grumpy.
Say
Like not
good
grumpy,
morning.
but like, are they sad? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So best advice that you would give to our listeners.
Even if you don't feel like you have a village, there are people out there who are willing to help you. You just got to find them. So like, you know, like the meet and greets in Folsom, the business meetings that they have, even if it's not quote unquote your industry, there are people who are there who are willing to sit down and talk to you and guide you if you're kind of lost or you feel like you're swimming in circles and you don't know which direction to go.
I like that. I like that a lot. I tend to tell my nieces and nephews that in a different way, like build a network. Don't burn bridges. If you meet someone, even if you don't think that that person can help you in some way, build the connection because later on in life, you may need that person.
Yes.
Advice, whatever.
Absolutely. You know, the older generation has a lot of good advice, you know?
Very
So,
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do find that some people, again, I think it comes to wiring. They struggle with the networking, and that's the fancy way of saying it. But
So talking to people?
well, I think there's a lot of people who struggle with that, and I think that's a growing wave based upon the life behind the
Communication.
keyboard and,
Right, and
all
the cell
social
phones
media.
and-
That's
yeah,
making it more
yeah.
difficult.
Right.
But speaking to someone, walking in a room with a smile, or walking in like you belong, not
Yeah.
necessarily in a cocky way,
Yeah,
but like you
right.
belong, are all the first side of that formula. And then to me, then it's okay. Then once you meet someone, did they express an interest in you in some way? And then when they do, it's incumbent upon you to then play that out. Because what I've found is there are passive and active mentors, passive and active coaches, all of which end up in your village. And I've been very blessed to have a lot of active
Yes.
in the active group, but I've also been taught to find the passive ones and go after them as well. And I think they both offer, it's because it's different personality.
Yes.
Right.
But I definitely think that's good advice for people to try to build your village.
Right.
Yeah.
And accept when someone opens up to you, or, I work with my nieces and my nephews and my kids on this. It's like, if you're somewhere and you're in a work context and you meet someone, they come in and then you find they come in again, or you interact with them and they remembered you and they're older and whatever, and they're in the same line of work or whatever. And then they're like, oh, let me give you my number. I'm like, that's a sign.
Yeah.
Right.
They see there's something in you that they're interested in.
Yes.
Right.
And you need to grab it aggressively and
Right.
go after it.
Yeah.
Like, don't let that pass.
Yeah. But I think it's just as important that when you're in the position to then help people, right? Your knowledge to then pass it along, just like you got it from, somebody else. Little girls, little horse girls, they always make horse treats, right? And they're like, hey, do you want to buy my horse treats and sell them in your tack trailer or whatever? And I'll say, well, let me explain how retail and, wholesale retail work. And they're all like, what? I'm like, well, I have to make money when I sell them.
Right.
Right. So you have to do A, B, and C, calculate your time, your ingredients, your supplies, all that stuff. Right. And you can tell me how much you would need to sell them to make a little bit of money. And they're out going, okay,
Right.
but it's important, just even those little tidbits
Yeah.
to
Catherine
pass.
dropping knowledge.
Yeah.
There you go.
She's dropping the knowledge.
You've
knowledge.
got to keep it going though, is important to build the village,
I agree. I think we're good about that though. You and I, we see something good in a person and we're like, hey, let's reach out to this person and let's take him under our wing. And yeah. And that's been a passion of mine since I can remember, mentoring, coaching, managing people. I just really, really have always enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Always.
It's nice to see what what blooms
Yes.
out of a bud that's so closed off, and then you help them peel back the layers and
Yeah.
Well, we're almost wrapped up here.
Sure.
We always end with the same question.
Okay.
So I'll kick it to Anna, and this is just an instant response.
Okay.
And then we're going to wrap it up.
If you could have dinner with anyone, who would it be?
My latest person that I really like and am very enamored by is Dolly Parton.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And what's your part of the question, though?
Where would you go eat?
Oh, I don't know. I'd probably have my husband cook.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I know you're busy,
Yeah.
and we appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for having me. I
This
appreciate
was
it.
great.
Some
This
awesome
was great.
stuff.
Yeah.
So, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.